Hello! Today, you're going to learn how to make adorable little plushies, like me. I'm an eggplant. To make me, you will need the following materials: felt, scissors, thread, a needle, and a marker. If you have some pins, that would be helpful, but not needed. Also, embroidery thread or some thicker embroidery needles would be helpful, but not necessary. Step 1, prepare your pattern. I printed these from Etsy, but you can search for patterns just on Google, or you can draw your own. Once you draw them or print them, cut them out. Choose your fabric. I decided to use felt, but you can use cotton fabric, any type of fabric you have lying around. You could consider repurposing an old t-shirt or an old sheet. The possibilities are endless. Once you choose your fabric, you're going to take your pattern and trace it like this onto your fabric. You can use a Sharpie, any marker. I like to use these disappearing ink pens because they disappear after 24 hours, but anything you have lying around. After you've traced your pattern, you're going to cut them out like I did here. As you can see, I have placed a pin in the leaf to attach it to the eggplant body so it will stay in place when I sew, but you can also just hold it on. The next step is to thread your needle. You can Google how to thread your needle. There's a few different ways to do it. And then we're going to start sewing. So to start, you want to go in from the back so that the knotted end of your thread gets hidden on the inside. So I'm just going to go in through the back here. And I'm going to do what's called a running stitch. A running stitch is the most simple stitch in sewing. And you're basically just going to go from back to front, back to front. You can make your stitches as long or short as you want them to be. So I'm going to go in here, pushing my needle in from the front, pulling it back. Now it's on the back side. Then I'm going to just go a little bit over, depending on how much space I want in between my stitches, and then push it from the back to the front. And then it just goes on like that. You go a little bit of space over, depending on how long you want your stitches, push it from the front to the back. Now it's on the back side, pushing it from the back to the front. To finish off, you want to make sure that your needle is on the back side. You are going to take a tiny little bit of fabric or felt with your needle, not enough to go through the other side. As you can see, my needle is not showing through. And you're going to pull, 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 slowly, almost all the way, till you end up with this little loop here. You're going to take the needle and swoop through the loop and pull tight. This creates a little knot to make sure that your thread will not unravel. So at this point, you'll have something that looks like this if you're making an eggplant. If you're making something else, make sure that all of the pieces get sewn on to the front first before we add on this back piece, because we won't be able to sew on things to the front once the other piece gets added. If you want to make a little face, you are welcome to do that using different scraps of fabric or doing some embroidery. I'm still learning embroidery, so I'm not going to show that here, but there are plenty of tutorials out there that can help you. In my next video, we will show you how to put it all together. Happy sewing!